Conquering the world on horseback is easy. It is dismounting and governing that is hard. Genghis Khan. Let's begin with the Persian Empire, the OG global powerhouse in ancient times. Founded by the one, the only, Cyrus the Great in 550 BC. This empire was so vast, it practically had its own time zone. If Brain Franklin had been around to suggest time zones, of course. It started from the western tip of Europe and ended on the sunny shores of India. The Persians literally almost had it all. Who was Cyrus the Great, and how did he help create the Persian Empire? On the Iranian plateau a long time ago, thousands of years ago actually, a band of sheep-herding nomadic tribes decided to band together and cause a commotion. Led by the legendary Cyrus the Great, these tribes started kicking ass and taking names, conquering nearby kingdoms like they were Miguel and Cobra Kai, taking names. Just as Johnny O reopened his dojo, Cyrus united what was known as the Achaemenid Empire under one rule. This included the most important sites in the ancient world, including Mesopotamia, Egypt, and India. Cyrus was not only great, he is forever remembered. His conquest of Babylon is literally etched in history on the Cyrus cylinder, an ancient clay tablet from 539 BC. It tells the triumphant tale of how he took down King Nabonidus and the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Not bad for a sheep herder. They weren't just conquering land. This time period was also known as the Iron Age Dynasty. Similar to Silicon Valley, it was a melting pot for culture, religion, science, art, and of course, technology. If they were a band, they'd be known as the new kids on the block, where they were on point until Alexander the Great showed up and showed out. Upon his arrival, the Achaemenid dynasty reign came crashing down like a Jenga tower in 330 BC. Despite multiple rulers, all efforts to restore the Persian Empire to its former Achaemenid glory was like the average American trying to fit in a pair of skinny jeans. Don't look good for you, Ralphie. So what happened? Long after Cyrus's death, many ruled the Persian Empire. One of them was Xerxes. Xerxes was the fourth ruler, and he waged an ill-fated Greek escapade in 1480 BC, and the empire hit what we call a rough patch. Defending their lands against a war he started was costly, so to recoup their losses, Persia's subjects were taxed unbelievably. His tyranny to his subjects created rebellions and led to the foundation of the decline of the empire. So, mission failed. We'll get him next time. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Please, I subsist off your likes and comments. I need more. I'm begging you. Now let's talk about the Han Dynasty. This dynasty took China by storm, ruling from 206 BC to 220 AD. These rulers have had their fair share of palace politics, but they also left their mark on history. From pushing Confederacism as a new improved state religion to paving the way to the Silk Road trade, this connection between East and West was the ancient version of Amazon. Everyone wanted to sell and buy on it. Romans bought their metalworking skills and glass techniques, while China's silk was equivalent to driving a Bugatti. They were also the ones who gave us this epic art and inventions like paper. I know we need it, but they were actually the ones who created like paper currency, you know. How did the Han Empire begin? In 210 BC, there was a massive revolt in the Qin Empire. Soon after, the warlord Zhang Hu gained control. After brief battles, Yu Bing snagged the title of emperor in 202 BC. He set up shop in Chang'an near the Wei River, in one of the passes remaining from the Qin dynasty. As with an authoritarian figure, he declared himself Emperor Gyalzo. Now, I would have gone for God Emperor of Mankind, but, to each his own. This marked the beginning of the Western Han era, lasting until 23 AD. Gyalzo was quick to establish kingdoms in ancient China, replacing kings with family members to keep the peace along the way. Because family would never betray family, right? Surely he has not watched Game of Thrones if he thinks that's even possibly gonna happen. Let's be honest here. We know what Tyrion's done to Cersei, and we know what she's done to him, vice versa. Come on, let's be honest here. Liu family members had their ambitions and would test the Empire's strength. It was an amazing roller coaster of excitement, murderous backstabbing, and inter-family power struggles that would last until Gyalzo's death. Following Gyalzo's death, the Empress Liu Ji decided to show her cause by murdering a few of Gyalzo's sons, proving she was not the one. She also murdered and mutilated her mother and Gyalzo's favorite mistress, Lady Kui. This power struggle would go on for the next 15 years, ending only when Gyalzo's son, Emperor Wan, slaughtered Liu Ji's family, becoming the 5th emperor of the Han Dynasty in 180 BC. It wasn't until 135 BC, during the time of Emperor Wu, aka Empress Wu Zetian, and the first and only female emperor of China. With her exceptional intellect, it was no revolutionary belief system like Confucianism, captivated not only by the royal family but by the people. Clever scholars like Fu Sheng managed to store away some precious Confucian literature during the Qin dynasty. This ancient wisdom managed to thrive even in the most brutal of book burnings. The Qin dynasty tried extra hard to wipe out all things Confucianism, but they couldn't extinguish the spark of hope that Zhang kept alive. During the time of Emperor Wu, the Han dynasty was on a sort of history-themed treasure hunt, raiding libraries, looking behind walls, all in an attempt to collect every last bit of confiscation. By 136 BC, the Imperial University began teaching all things Confucianism, complete with 5 classics that were the hottest books on the shelves. By the 2nd century AD, the university was educating over 30,000 eager students on Confucian wisdom. Confucianism had made a major comeback. The Han Dynasty gave us Confucianism, paper, and the Silk Road. Did you also know they gave us art? Basically like the Met Gala of the ancient China, with over 3,000 art figures made with the finest materials like silver, bronze, gold, jade, silk, and pottery. To fend off future tomb raiders, the entry resembled piles of dirt, further highlighting the next level intelligence of this dynasty. But I mean, it didn't really work, mostly because people realized if we go past the dirt, there's money. So that's how Laura Croft would end up getting some items, let's be honest here. You gotta make that wealth somehow. This dynasty fell because it had a little bit of everything going on. Some corruption, a dash of political drama, and 2 sprinkles of rebellion. Top it off with a few warlords, each trying to one up the other, and you have a crumbling dynasty. The Mongol Empire. This one is probably my favorite and the most infamous, because in 1206, it was founded by Genghis Khan. With humble beginnings in the heartland of Asia, this empire grew to an absolute behemoth. By the late 13th century, it spanned across the Pacific Ocean to the Danube River and the Persian Gulf in the west. At its peak, this mighty empire covered a whopping 9 million square miles of territory, making it the biggest land empire the world has ever seen. This empire was as vast as it was diverse, a true melting pot. People from all walks of life, beliefs, backgrounds, all coming together under one rule. Why? World domination, of course. Yeah, baby, we're here to take over the world. We'd like to hear. Under the leadership of Khan, his crew wasn't just a bunch of muscleheads. They were strategically skilled on the battlefield, similar to high-speed internet going from point A to point B, fast on top-notch communication skills. They used signals and messenger services that would be a rival to Snapchat if it came out in modern day. Or I guess closer like messenger pigeons? You get the idea. During battle, the Mongols didn't believe in hand-to-hand combat, but bows and arrows, like most cultures. Because it turns out, one thing that kept humanity alive for a very long time, if you can hit something before it even has a chance to hit you, you win. So that's typically what people do. Who needs to be up close and personal when you can just rain down death upon them, like that scene from 300, or that other scene from Shang-Chi? If things did get messy, these folks had zero problem rolling up their sleeves and going all Dragon Ball Z on the army. And if they ever needed a little help, they could always call on their pals in the conquered lands, like the Persians, Arab, and Chinese. Khan did not believe in burning bridges. So when history tries to show Mongols as a bunch of guys on horses, remember, they used the brain power as well as fancy maneuvers. That's what made them true badasses. But don't forget they also rode horses, because again, they very much so did use the ultimate gaming technique, kiting. So you're probably wondering, how did the Mongol Empire fall? After the death of Khan, his successors, like many empires before, played a power game of tug of war, ultimately tearing the once solid empire into 4 khanates. Now, here's the issue. If you've ever played the game Fallout New Vegas, you would know there's a character by the name of Caesar. And we're going to do quite a little spoilers here, because I got you know. But Caesar, he is the one guy who's kind of taken over this protection of the New Vegas territory. And things are going pretty good, except he's dying. Yeah, he has like Fallout cancer, so he's like on the verge of death. And he knows when he dies, his empire is going to fall. He has his entire army that is basically using him as a figurehead and as the only real strategy. So, just like when Khan went down, if Caesar ever goes down, everything goes bad. And as we see here, now we have 4 groups who just want to rip and tear like Doomslayer through each other. The once mighty empire looks less mighty and more like a modern day America, where 1 in every 500 Americans experience homelessness and almost 38 million live in poverty, while around 78 living paycheck to paycheck, starving, exhausting, and just neglecting your people is not how you grow an empire. So as I said, make sure if you're gonna run an empire in the future, always make sure you have a proper heir. Then again, I guess if you do go down, it wouldn't really affect you all that much, am I right? You're dead, my dude. But that's all we have time for today. Make sure to check out part 2 when it comes out. Like, comment, and subscribe. We would love to hear from you. And as always, Jordan's out. I love you.